Elupee
74,
Elupee
75,
Elupee
78,
Elupee
77,
Obi
78,
Kerenke
79,
Obi
88.
Obi.
Hello there, welcome to today's special edition of Conversation Around Protecting Copyright. And today we are going to be looking at how to protect viral videos. And we are taking the example of Muoka. I hope I spelled your name or pronounced your name, pardon me, very well. So the topic, of course, is how Muoka's Elupee is shaking up copyright law. And in this conversation, we are going to be taking that case study and then looking at it and guiding people on how they can protect their viral video works. So, what's about Muoka?
Elupee
74,
Elupee
75,
Elupee
78,
Elupee.
During the counting of that the vote in one of the wards, Muoka was, of course, there at the point, and while the counting was on, he was doing his thing, and that thing got out there. And today, it's everywhere, it's all over the places, and it has become a sensational. So the question really is, we have many people that are doing different renditions. We have people that are doing animated videos around Elupee. We have people even doing stage performance. We have DJs that are adopting Elupee 75 and doing all the DJ mix. We have so many things. I saw a Jesse Elupee 75. I mean, we have so many things, so many different renditions around all of this, what Muoka did. And it raises a lot of questions. And I'm sure that this is not the first time we are going to be seeing something like this. We've seen a number of things like this happen in the past. And unfortunately, we have many talents. We have many people that did not take ownership or did not take the advantage of the moment to look at the legal aspect to what they are doing. So just in case you are a creative and just in case you are in the creative space, today's conversation really is something for you. It's something that will benefit you. So what are the things we are looking at? Some of these renditions, some of these products that came from Muoka's Elupee video. A number of them, of course, may not have been with his approval and maybe would have feel that, yes, he gave his consent as well too. So what are around all of these things? Can we even say that Muoka has become an author and is entitled to copyright in the sense of ownership? Can we say all of these at the end of this conversation? These are some of the things that you will get to know. And we are going to be raising questions as well, so that you can also begin to think. And the more you think, the more you begin to also see how the law works. And this is, for us, what we live for. This is our delight. So I hope that you find this conversation very, 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 very interesting. So as you said, for this, remember, share this video. As you listen to it, there are so many people that we need to help out there. So remember to share this video as you listen to it. So first question we want to look at in today's conversation is the question of ownership. Or even before you can talk of ownership, you must be sure you own something. So the video, I'm sure, has been played. Muoka, Elupee. What do you think about this video? Do you think that this video is something that is worth protecting? Let's then look at the concept of copyright in musical works and then see if, of course, under the law, this is something that we can really say is worth protecting. So what are those things that matter when we talk about protection, or when we talk about the subject of what is what being protected? There are two things that are very crucial, among many other things, but two things that are usually very, very crucial in protecting this kind of viral video. The first thing you want to talk about is this content original? And the second thing you want to talk about is the concept of what the lawyers will refer to as the fixation element within the video. Let's talk about originality. Stephen Muoka, Elupee. But remember, there were people doing the counting. 71, 72, 73. And also remember, there was somebody behind the camera that was doing the shooting. So this raises legal questions around ownership. We will get to that pretty soon. Originality is what we are trying to talk about here. What does the law consider to be original? Very, very crucial question. Does originality have anything at that to do with the length of the song, the quality of the song, or even any other factor that could be of aesthetic importance in the whole work that was done? So somebody just kept saying Elupee, Obiwane, and many other things, and then you wonder that, well, the music you and I are used to are music that would have different verses. We have verse 1, have verse 2, have verse 3, and this is very crucial, especially to people that are within the skit space, people that make very short things. The question is, would they be said to have produced something original? Well, so I must mention that yes, the copyright law of the country has just been we have a new copyright act in town, which was signed just some weeks ago from the moment of doing this video. So what I've tried to do is to look at all of these concepts around that law, and then to use that to guide you in this conversation. So we're looking at originality. What does originality, what does it say, or when will a product be considered to be original? Now, what the law says is that there has to be some effort towards ensuring that the product has original character. So we see Stephen Muoka sing. That was his voice, of course, and then had some, some should I dare call it now, content of ease to it. Yes, where is content? Even the idea of the way LP was also expressed in such a way that it looked like a local LP or Elupee. All of those things are things you can begin to look at as this makes some sense in being demonstrated as original. Remember, I said what matters is that there has to be some effort into ensuring that there is originality in the character, in the content, in what was done. The beautiful thing again about the English is that if we are to look at originality from the context of doing something over the blues, it will mean that we are saying that before musicians can become musicians, they must then produce their own English and not the ABC that you and I know of. So the whole idea of what I just said is to let you know that when it comes to copyright, it is not patent. It is not a work of invention where you have to be overly, everything around what you do must be overly new. So such that, you then say that, well, this thing is overly new, not born out of anything. If it's still the same English and the same Igbo, the same Yoruba, Hausa language, then the context of originality really has the originality of expression, of character, and all of those things. And these are crucial things. I'll still jump into what you do not need before you can call yourself an author or the owner of a copyrightable work in that context. But let's come to the idea of fixation. What do we mean by fixation? If the news actually turned out to be true, the information we got was that Stephen Muoka really was just doing his thing and didn't even know that somebody was there recording him. But what happens if nobody recorded him at that point? And then he goes out tomorrow and then see somebody singing just the same thing he sang during the counting of the vote. And then somebody begins to do his, just a rendition of what he exactly did, like singing Elupee, 71 Elupee. Now, the question at that point is, can Stephen Muoka say that that which he did, because he was the first to do it, then he can stop other people from doing it? Now, this is where the whole idea around fixation comes in. And fixation has to do, put in a way, is that that work must have been fixed in a definite medium that is perceived, from which it can be reproduced, among many other things. So in essence, if there was no friend to record Stephen Muoka and someone else had gone out to sing the same thing, Stephen Muoka may not be able to challenge, because really his work at that point may not have been fixed. So fixation may have to do with the idea of ensuring that there is a form of documentation or a form of recording. So somebody that wants to call himself or herself an author must have put together the content in a way that is capable of being perceived, or being reproduced, or being duplicated. Somebody that is putting together a sound recording or a music composition must have also done that in a way that is capable of being disseminated, or being produced, reproduced, and all of that. And that is where Stephen Muoka's friend comes in. The fact that there was somebody that captured the moment, and that has helped Stephen Muoka to have his work in a way that we can say that it has it's now in a fixed way. Now, having looked at these two crucial things, I think it's also important to try to guide you, my listener, on things that many people think really matter when it comes to viral works, and not just viral works, but generally speaking, to subjects of copyright. What are the things that what are the wrong notions that people have that really do not matter? I want to get into those wrong notions one at a time, one after the other. Now, the first thing which I've even touched on is the idea of novelty, that there has to be that newness in what is being presented. And remember the idea I shared: if you cannot reinvent ABC, really there is nothing to reinvent when the content of what you are doing is built on ABC, whether it's in your language or in the English ABC that you and I know. So novelty is not something that you need when it comes to protecting your work out there. Then how about the idea of creativity? How about the idea of creativity? Oh, he was just saying Elupee, he was just saying Elupee. I don't see anything that matters or looks enticing in that, and all of that. Or, oh, he was just saying all of those things, but until I heard somebody put some music, some sound recording to back it up, was when the whole thing started making sense. Now, does it mean it has to make sense in that context before he's able to protect it? No, that is not the case. So that also matters, that creativity is really not what gives the right of ownership. Originality is most crucial in whatever you are doing. Then how about duration? The fact that we have many people that are used to 4 minutes music work, 10 minutes music work. The point is, even if you sit to do some seconds content, and this is especially to those of you that are into skit making, if you sit to do some seconds of content. What matters are these crucial things that I've talked about, among other things, but these crucial things: originality and the fact that you capture the moments in a way that is in a fixed manner as well. So duration of the video really is not what the law is all about. So Elupee, I think, was about 23 seconds, and Elupee, Stephen Muoka, is out there, and I mean, he can live his life and then say, oh, he did something. But remember, I said there are issues we want to look at, because there were people counting, there was somebody holding the camera. These are issues that you and I need to look at and really ask the question: can Stephen Muoka really say, I am the owner or the author of this work? Then another point that is very crucial is the point around registration. Do you need to register before you own? The subject of copyright is like your shadow. Whatever you produce is magnetic, and it magnetizes you everywhere. This is the ultimate principle around copyright. So the right comes to you the moment it is produced, and you get these things we have said, you get them right. The moment it is produced, even though if you release it out to the public, the moment you produce it, you have the right immediately. This is unlike what we know in copyright, I mean, in intellectual property as design. When it comes to industrial design, you must keep your products from going out and register it first. But when it comes to copyright, you don't need to keep it and wait to register. Of course, you can have some form of notification and registration with the Nigerian Copyright Commission, but that is not what gives you protection. What gives you protection is that that work has been done, and that work has already followed those things that we said earlier on. It is in a fixed way. And you know, this is a clarion call to many of you that just do things randomly. For you to really have ownership of that, you should take note of all of these things that we have said, so that your random works can also really have some meaning, and then you can be able to really take ownership of what is yours. Imagine if Stephen Muoka did all of that and didn't have a friend to record him. That would have been a lost moment in history. And many of you listening to me today, you are in this kind of shoes, and you need to begin to understand how this whole thing works and how to take ownership of what is truly yours. So now we move from this conversation around the subject of copyrightability. Let me use for want of what. Then let's come to authorship. Let's come to authorship. When you look at this Stephen Muoka's Elupee rendition, if the question is asked in the literal or in the technical sense, that who owns the copyright in this work, you're likely to look at three sets of people. You're likely to look at Stephen Muoka himself, who had all the Elupee, Obiwane, Obi, and all of that. And you are likely to also look at the person behind the camera, the one that captured the moment. And you're also likely to look at the people that were counting the votes: 71, 72, 73. All of these people were instrumental in the video that went viral. So who owns the copyright in all of this? I need your comments right in the comment box. And if you are here to share this video, please share it with people around you. Share it on your status, share it on your social media platforms. Let people also get to learn from that which you are learning from this conversation. So, but let's come to Stephen Muoka. Stephen Muoka, of course, was very instrumental substantially in that viral video. He was the one really connecting and dishing out majority of the content. But how about the person that captured the moment? Can Stephen Muoka then say, I was the one doing all this rendition? I need that video or delete it from your phone. Now, here is one of the interesting things about copyright. The video was done by someone else, but that person cannot profit on the rendition or on the product of someone else just because he was the one that captured the moment. In essence, he may have a right to his phone. He may even have a right to the copy that is on his phone, but he cannot disseminate that copy because there is even an image right to it, which is not the subject of what we are discussing today. In disseminating that content, it is not his content. He was merely privileged to use his phone, and he can keep his phone for life. He can even decide and say, I am going to spoil this phone, or he can decide that he's even not giving Stephen Muoka the video, right? He can do all of that because really this was his phone, and he did it not born out of instructions from Stephen Muoka. He did it while capturing the moment. But he only has right to that one video. He does not have a right to begin to disseminate the video for some commercial gains. He doesn't have that right. But then comes the third factor. The people, to create a viral video, they were merely doing their work. So you then look at it from a context. Who really was out there creating something? Really, that was Stephen Muoka. And I need you to get into the comment box and let's carry on this conversation around what you think about these three: Stephen Muoka, his friend that recorded, and the people that were merely doing their work of counting the votes. These are crucial characters in this conversation. So I want to hear from you to really know what you think about that. And then the next thing is to then, this is really talking about the many opportunities for creatives, for those within the creative industry. How to harness all of these opportunities legally and in practice, and then how to begin to build on these opportunities. So I want to talk about what are the opportunities that Stephen Muoka can explore, at least under what the law already gives to Stephen Muoka. So Stephen Muoka can leverage that viral video for he can commercialize the viral video. Is one of the things he can do. Stephen Muoka can decide to then create lyrics around this thing he did, and then take it to the next stage. He can even have some form of license issued out for remix and for use within, for his as far as there is his approval and all of that. He can decide to protect his composition, meaning he can protect the lyrics. He can protect even the content that has been dished out. He can do all of that. He can also create sound recording around what he did at that polling unit. He can create sound recording around it, and he can do skit content around it. So he can do animated skit content. He can decide to do a lot of things. So it's really something that he can keep exploring and generating new opportunities from that one viral video. These are very crucial things that Stephen Muoka can do. And let's jump to another thing. Now, looking at all of those, you're exploring all of those opportunities. There are also institutional ways that Stephen Muoka can benefit from this. And this comes to the contractual side to copyright ownership. Now, Stephen Muoka can have some form of rights given to who we know as publisher. So the lyrics can go to the publisher, and usually these are expert corporate entities that help, or we then help to create that substance, or better still, create the commercial part, explore the commercial opportunities in Stephen Muoka's viral video, and many other things that it may have done based on the things I mentioned it can explore. So it can have an agreement, a contractual relationship with a publisher that will be in charge of exploring the lyrics, the melody, and all of that. And it can also have with the recording label. It can have with the recording label, so meaning the sound recording part of it, or let's say it decides to have it as a form of album. It decides to delve deeper. It decides to begin to stream it across different platforms and do all of those things. It can also have some form of relationship with a recording label, which is another opportunity that Stephen Muoka can explore. And then there are also entities that perform these functions together as a single entity. So an entity can explore both the opportunities within the publisher side of this viral video, and can also explore the opportunities in the recording side, depending on how deep Stephen Muoka is able to explore all of the opportunities from that viral video that he did. And we've seen a number of people put out their rendition. It could be with some music or with some dancing and all of those things. And there are questions to be asked about this. But yes, time is always precious here, and because we need to definitely also get to the end of this. But if you're liking this video already, I want you to like it. I want you to ask your questions and keep sharing with people. And this is how you also encourage us to have this kind of conversation more. I would really love to talk, get deeper into copyright infringements. What are things Stephen Muoka should look out for, or what are uses that we can say, oh, this is a fair use, is acceptable. How about the digitalization or the digital part, the use of those of the viral video across digital platforms? Are there possibilities of some technological alterations without approval and all of those things? The good thing is that the new Copyright Act that was just signed into law has made provision for some of these things, and I would ideally love to carry on. But yes, whatever is good should always definitely also have its ending. But I want to end this conversation on a note, and it's a question. It is a question, and the question is this, that what's your feeling, what's your thoughts around the fact that recently we had P-Square, I think in Germany, had a performance and then brought in the Elupee song in the course of their stage performance? Will you consider that if it was done without Stephen Muoka's approval, will you consider that to be a violation of Stephen Muoka's right to that viral video? I want to know what you think about this question, and then get into the comment box. Let's keep the conversation going. Do have for yourself a wonderful day, and thank you for being a part of this session today.
Elupee
74.
Elupee
75.
Elupee
78.
Elupee
77.
Obi
78.
79
79.
Obi